Hello, bankers. A very good evening to all of you. Welcome back. Welcome to another session. I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to all of you. So, quickly join in so that we can start our today's discussion. All right. So, here we have done with our module A in our previous session, right? So, today we will be targeting module B from the HRM itself, right? So, everyone quickly join in. Sreyan sir is here. Very good evening, sir. So when it comes to module B, we have another 5 units आपका which are generally part of this particular session. Out of 5 session आपका when it comes to HR as a strategic player, first unit, right? This is just kind of an introduction of HRM. Okay. Then we have CEO, the role of CEO. Then we have communication, the different type of communication process, and barriers to effective communication. Then we have HR function, again the HRP, आपका recruitment, selection, training, development, succession planning, and everything. Next one we have performance management. So when it comes to performance management, so why performance management and the different ways to deal with those particular one. So that generally that's something which generally comes under this particular one. Okay. So yesterday we completed 5 unit आपका. If anybody missed, please go through those particular one and like that will help you to revise things and all, right? So mock test, you can, like, what you can do evening, you can watch the session, then आपका morning you can give a module wise mock test or unit wise mock test, right? Go for module wise, I'll suggest, it will save your time. Then आपका afternoon, whenever you get time, with the help of PDF आपका you can revise things also, right? So this is something for the last week itself, so I'll be suggesting this one, which will be helping you, right? So all module they have five units आपका mostly, right? But module D and E, which is something where we have some sort of compliances or the law related things and all. So instead of going through that module wise, I'll suggest आपका श्रेयांश sir, unit wise preparation will help you in this particular case आपका, right? कौन है ये sweet salt? Actually, like maximum people, these are only comfortable in English language, so that's why we are doing things in English medium only, right, ma'am? Okay, chalo. So let's start the discussion, guys, with the very first unit आपका, which is HR as a strategic player. So when it comes to this particular one, we have the basic introduction of HRM. Then it is about the strategic HRM, right? So strategic HRM, I hope you remember from the previous class as well as from your ABM things. Then we have HR strategy formulation and implementation. Then we have need for a distinctive HR strategy. We have value through HR, right? So we have HRM analysis. Then we have strategy. We have strategy execution and aligning HR system with the decision framework and others, that generally comes under this particular one. Okay, so these are some areas which are generally part of our today's the very first unit आपका discussion itself. Correct है? So shall we start? Yes. हाँ, it is completely आपका theoretical. Most of, like, all the units are completely theory driven. ठीक है? So if you have read that module B of ABM well na, that will give you some sort of insight around the entire subject. Okay, like let's say if you are going for BFM, sorry, risk management, if you have read that module B आपका, that is a kind of a summary of your entire risk management. Similarly here also ABM, when it comes to ABM आपका module B, that will help you in HRM. ठीक है, rest आपका central banking, rural banking और आपका IT, they are completely different from the league itself, right? चलो, so when it comes to the traditional viewpoint around the HRM things, it was there. It is more toward to the administrative work. The HR team was we do not used to give that much of importance to HR team. They used to do the, like, calculation of hours or the wages and others, and they are mostly pro employer. But when it comes to strategic आपका HRM, the contemporary theories or the approach around the HRM things, it is related to your modern आपका areas and all, right? So basically it is like we have to or we need to align the HR activities according to the business activities. How business is getting any sort of transition from old to new things. Accordingly, we align our activities with the business goal and objective itself, right? So traditional HRM, which focus on support or back office function, it is routine administrative task and this. So here it is proactive business partner involved in corporate planning, focus on utilizing employees' skills in strategy formulation, especially through the knowledge management. Yesterday only we talk about this. Human resources are as the primary source of competitive advantages, and we believe that human are the most important part of the organization. So alignment require vertical fit, आपका right? So which is आपका HR and the overall business areas, और horizontal fit आपका which is all internal HR activities between the आपका the different departments and others, which generally comes under this one. Leadership proof, influential leaders like Jack Welch demonstrated that quality training and leadership development are central to the organizational success itself, right? So this is something ki earlier it was the focus, like if you remember the evolution of management from that industrial revolution or the classical stage to your modern management आपका. So with as this the businesses started evolving आपका, similarly the functions or like here the importance was toward the machine, here it become आपका importance toward the humans. So understanding human is one of the most complex job. Maintaining their momentum or retaining them is again at a difficult side. This job which is generally done by the your what it is called HR department, right? So now the four important areas, the four leg of balance scorecard, a management framework used to evaluate the business from four key perspective. One is learning and growth. How like nowadays, like all the contemporary theories, they focus around this particular one. How innovative you are, that will आपका make the position of that person in the organization, and as a organization as a whole, it will make the position in the market itself. So assess how well employees use training and knowledge resources to gain the competitive advantages. Business process, evaluate operational efficiency and identify issues like bottleneck and waste in the production through the especially the areas like TQM, total quality management, that Kaizen and others thing आपका they generally comes under this. Customer perspective, ठीक है, we are customer oriented nowadays, ठीक है, so we want to increase the customer satisfaction to customer delight. Measure the customer satisfaction and feedback on quality, prices and availability and financial data. Analyze sales, income, expenditure, and financial metrics like ratios and variation to assess the financial performance. So when it comes to the overall strategic vision आपका, so that is something, or the strategic alignment of HRM, that is around all these particular four key pointers itself, right? So this is something which is which is something आपका which is generally part of this particular one, right? Devanshis आपका अच्छा, okay, can you please mention your query, sir, so I can explain you, I can help you out with this particular one. So the balance scorecard is seen a strategic management tool rather than a mere measurement tool. It align the organization vision in आपका strategy itself. So basically when it comes to strategic HR involvement, it include areas like aligning HR activities with business strategy, actively participating in corporate planning, maximizing human resources, creating आपका growth oriented environment, and establishing system for ongoing improvements in optimal job person fit. Is there something like let's say your organization is planning for some sort of change, because change is kind of a backbone of the resiliency, or kind of how we can take some sort of upper competitors advantages in the market itself. So for that sake, what we can do in that particular case itself, so like we can like let's say if your bank is planning for some sort of new banking product and all, so we will be like let's say after 1 year we planning for that particular thing, or for security measure, we are planning to launch some sort of blockchain technologies or anything else, right? So that means that is a strategy at corporate level. At HRM or at the HR department, what we are doing, we are basically aligning the activities and we are making sure that we will be having right people at right job whenever it is required in that particular case itself, right? So that is something which generally comes under this one. Devanshis, can you please mention your query so I can explain you? Redefining HR role. So key constituents of the effective HR departments, which is resourcing expert आपका, goes beyond the routine hiring by the ensuring candidate have right mix of education, value and social skills to add long-term value to the organization. First one. Second one is as a developer when it comes to, so act as mentor, coach and catalyst for employee growth. Then we have as a behavioral आपका specialist. So understand the internal dynamics, predict the potential conflict and ensure a healthy organizational culture. The behavior also we have discussed yesterday only, right? Then we have value creator, right? So you are adding something in the organization. Help आपका unlock the long-term potential of individual, ensuring their contribution lead to tangible value creation through the knowledge management and others, which is generally part of this particular one. So this is something how we generally dealing with all these particular areas itself, right? Now there is one point which is very important here. So these are the 7 pointers. So when it comes to strategic HRM, so what is strategic HRM? I hope now everyone got this particular one, and this is not new, right? We have discussed this particular thing many times, this particular terminology in ABM as well as in ABFM when it comes to strategic management. So that is something alignment toward the organizational activities and all. So now here when it comes to the strategic HRM concept and features आपका the areas which include आपका there is an explicit linkage between HR policy and practices with the overall organizational environment. How organization is evolving, similarly we are also changing. It focus on organizations human resources as primary source of the organization competitive advantages, system theory of management, or every theory in modern management, every theory believe in humans, right? Then we have the activities of strategic HRM, emphasis the HR programs, policies and practices as the mean through which organizations people can develop to gain the competitive advantages. The pattern and strategic HRM plan of strategic HRM envisages the congruence between HR strategy and organization business strategy, vertical as well as horizontal. The people's practices and planned आपका patterns are all purposeful, directed toward the achievement of common organization goal itself. So that is something which generally comes under this particular area itself. So these 7-step आपका, which basically when it comes to the 7-step model of strategic HRM, clarify and articulate the business strategy. And then we have develop a business case of for HR strategic asset, means alignment of human resources toward the organization goal. Create a strategy map for the firm. Identify HR deliverables within the strategy map. Align HR architecture with HR deliverables. आपका design the strategic measurement system and execute आपका management by measurement itself. So these are the areas which generally comes under this one. So it is all about 3 core areas आपका. Here you can go with the book only. So the HR new role, okay, in organization, how we define the HR new role, it include the areas like core आपका people related means it is something related to the selection or आपका the recruit, orientation, career development, motivation in this. When it comes to organizational value added, so HR आपका technology service, creating a learning work environment, organizational development in counseling itself, consulting itself, right? Then we have business transformation role at the time of change or something, creating a flexible work culture, aligning HR initiative to business strategies, implement organizational change and transition with ease, आपका assess return on investment on the human capital itself. So that is something which generally comes under this particular area. So these are the different areas or the ways of this particular one. Got it, guys? Now we have one famous model which is called Deloitte HR framework. So what they generally said, that is something key, define the human capital phase one. So it is understand the business strategy and define HR strategy accordingly. As I gave you an example of neo banking, your bank is coming up with that particular one. So something you require some sort of people who having or who possess that level of competency. So your business is entering into something new, and for that one, human resources आपका how you will be arranging those particular thing. Then phase two is align HR product and services. आपका segment HR customers or prioritize the HR investment or design the HR services. Then आपका deliver the value, that is the third one. ठीक है, ensure right HR services delivered delivery model. Then we have, which is means आपका we are balancing between, like we are able to find out the right person at right job at right time. Yeah, that is something. Establish right HR capabilities. Yeah, we do have or we do possess those kind of capabilities according to the strategic alignment of the business. Improve HR operational excellence, build HR brand, and आपका measure impact on HR product and services itself. So this is generally known as Deloitte HR framework and others. Okay, this is from your book only, right? So sometimes they generally ask these type of questions, so you have to be a bit careful around these particular one. Now the next thing आपका which we are going to discuss, a 5-point agenda for HR professional. So when it comes to this one, so it is आपका how HR can effectively contribute to strategy execution by aligning closely with the business and corporate goal. So it includes 5 areas. First, understand the business environment and strategies, very basic one. Then आपका engage operational detail. It is something आपका day to day working in the business and like making sure कि people they do have that kind of qualities, or if there is some sort of deficiency, fix those particular one through the training and development and all. Bridge आपका HR and industrial relation, ठीक है, so the law things. So like things should align with the, or activities should align according to the your law or the industrial relation, ठीक है. So HR must take integrated view of people across all level. As technology and skill level arise, the gap between white and blue collar role is narrow. So necessary to identify the approaches to managing the people itself. Then next one we have act as knowledge worker and facilitator. That is something. So HR must promote knowledge sharing and documentation within the organization. They should support the system that facilitate knowledge flow, आपका performance appraisal and internal learning also, right? Then we have the next one is shift from support role to आपका value creator. So that is something which we have discussed आपका earlier also, right? So that is something which is generally part of this particular one, right? So the entire area and the summary in one page आपका. I hope you guys following this particular one at the time of revision. This will help you, so you do not have to go through again and again. All pointers are mentioned in this particular one, all unit number 6, and that will help you in this case, right? Chalo. Now let's start the practice itself. First question on your screen, guys. This subject will ask for more and more practice. Please do not take it lightly, huh? Can you see the entire screen, guys? Now it is perfect, I guess. Okay. So Rani ma'am and Kote sir is saying option C. The first statement आपका, which of the following statement regarding the strategic HRM and balanced scorecard approach are correct? The first one, the balanced scorecard evaluate the organizational performance only on financial indicator to ensure the objective assessment. No, this is not only on the it is mostly आपका beyond the financial indicators आपका, right? So it include the dimension like customer और आपका the learning internal process or the other kind of things. So first should be wrong here. Strategic HRM include aligning HR practices such as reskilling, yes, upskilling, talent placement आपका in business strategy. Third one is the learning and growth perspective of balanced scorecard focus on employee training, knowledge system and innovation capability. The fourth one is HR Act as a strategic partner required to focus only on recruitment आपका and administrative. This was a traditional approach. The balanced scorecard integrate customer satisfaction, internal process, learning growth, financial performance to provide the holistic view of the organization performance. 2, 3, 5 means आपका option C will be right answer for this particular one. Okay, so when it comes to this, the balanced scorecard goes beyond the financial indicator and include non-financial dimension such as customer, internal process and learning also. The fourth statement was wrong. Strategic HRM require HR to go beyond the recruitment and this particular one. Okay, this was around the mostly around the your आपका traditional view itself, right? चलो, now next question on your screen, guys. Everyone, guys, please try to answer these particular one. See, if you'll participate, then only you will be able to remember things आपका, हाँ. Which of the following statement regarding HR transformation and strategic HRM are correct? The first one is HR transformation can be achieved simply by digitizing digitizing HR services such as payroll and employee आपका service portals. Wrong है. Strategic HRM focus on aligning HR policies and practices with organizational strategy to achieve the competitive advantages. The next one, horizontal fit. Strategic HRM आपका, which is alignment between different HR activities such as recruitment. This it is horizontal, true है. A key requirements of HR transformation is integration of HR practices to create value for multiple stakeholders. Strategic HRM primarily treat employees as operational resource आपका, no, strategic resource itself. So 2, 3, 4 means option A only will be right answer for this particular one. Very good, guys. So option A, it is not the only one, right? Strategic HRM involve employee as a strategic contributor, not just आपका operational one. Next one. Yes, very true. Sri Lakshmi ma'am and other also, guys. So, regarding the strategic role of HR and HR value contribution are not correct. You have to find out the incorrect statement. Please careful around this. So HR create maximum value when its initiative are designed primarily around the internal operation efficiency without considering the external stakeholders. This is wrong. Second one is आपका strategic HRM require alignment between employee capabilities, customer expectations, and investor confidence to drive the business performance. Yes. Business transformation of role of HR include enabling the organizational change and assessing return on investment on human capitals. Next one, HR professional add greater strategic value when they begin decision making by focusing on receiver needs such as employee, customers, and this. Correct है? The next one is core people role of HR is limited only to recruitments. This is आपका wrong. So 2, 3, 4 again. So 2, 3, 4 means option A. Sorry. We have to find out incorrect statement. So incorrect statement means what will be your correct answer? 1 in 5. 1 in 5 means option C will be right answer for this particular. Very correct आपका. Very good. Rani ma'am and Kudesa. So statement 4 was wrong and statement 1 is आपका wrong. Saras sir also. Well done. Next one. Mayank sir, very good evening. Which of the following statement regarding the strategic HR management, ROI, and HR measurement system are correct? So, what will be your correct answer? So, the 7-step model for using HR as a strategic asset begin with आपका designing the HR scorecard to measure the organizational outcome. ठीक है, so this is 7 step which generally आपका it start with the business strategy. Wrong. First statement is here wrong, right? The HR strategy mapping involve identifying cause and effect linkage between HR initiative and firm level performance. The next one is ROI on human capital can be measured by dividing net organizational revenue by total operational expenses, including salary and benefit. No, this is wrong, right? So ROI is like it is. Yesterday we talked about this. Now we cannot exactly measure that particular one, and the total operational expenses are not related to human, right? So you have to only consider if you want to or achieve the accuracy. So this is not the right one, right? Next one aapka, the HR scorecard include dimensions such as HR deliverable and alignment of HR system with key business performance drivers. Strategic efficiency measure in HR focus on activities that directly support आपका strategy execution as a cost per hire or trainee आपका. This is true, right? So 245 means option D must be right answer for this one. D will be right answer. Very good, Rani ma'am. So D, because ROI on human capital is calculated using net revenue divided by salary and benefit cost, not all operational. Or all operational means like electricity or rent, everything you are including in that particular one itself, right? Next one. Okay, now the another set I'll give you as a homework, so you can go for these one. HR industrial relation. This is so HR professional are increasingly expected to develop deep understanding of business operation to anticipate strategic challenges before they reach to top management. Modern HR function are largely limited to recruitment in this. This is completely wrong, right? Integration of HR and IR become less relevant. It become more relevant. This should be wrong again. HR professionals are expected to act as a facilitator of knowledge creation and sharing to improve the organizational competitiveness. Contemporary HR performance evaluation framework increasingly emphasizes contribution to value creation metrics such as EVA rather than आपका activity based. So 145 means option A only will be right answer for this particular one. Why you guys are not answering? So HR is no longer limited to administrative tasks. The another one is integration of HR and IR become more important with the automation and evolving work structure, not less relevant. It's right. Chal. Next one, guys. So the statement regarding strategic HRM and its role in organization decision making are correct. So strategic HRM focus primarily on administrative HR activities such as payroll processing and compliance management with minimal linkage of the business outcome. Wrong hai. Second one is your organization behavior studies how employee आपका think feel and act within organization and it help align our workforce behavior with the strategic objective. Third one is effective HR system contribute in decision making by enabling prediction of workforce behavior using the historical data benchmarking and simulations. HR effectiveness is considered irrelevant of financial performance as profitability is driven mainly by the market condition. It is not irrelevant. The contribution of human beings is also present there, right? Alignment of HR strategy with business strategy ensure that workforce capabilities support organizational goal and improve the decision making. Very true. तो 235 means आपका option D must be right answer for this particular one. Correct. So strategic HRM is not limited to administrative. It is this statement we have gone through multiple times. HR effectiveness is strongly linked to the financial performance as research shows HR drive organizational outcome also. Right. So option D will be right answer for this one. Okay. Now next unit आपका CEO, Chief Executive Officer, and his or her team. Right. So this is something when it comes to we have separation of आपका CEO and chairman. Right. Chairman who generally represent the board and accountable to the stakeholders. CEO which generally see the आपका operational efficiency. ठीक है. They are mostly आपका accountable for the your overall operational efficiency of the organization. So now, what is CEO role and responsibilities? CEO and talent management. Then we have succession planning. The another important two topics are basically there. One is all about CEO function and others. Another one is succession planning, job family, and आपका human resource audit. So these are the areas which are generally part of this particular one. So basically, the executive team, which is आपका led by CEO. The CEO role as the central architect of the strategy and the governance. Then we have talent and team, building the human आपका infrastructure, talent management, which include many things आपका, right? Many things like the overall development of skills or industry alignment and others. All these areas which generally comes under this. Then we have succession planning. You remember this one? Succession planning we have discussed. This is a new topic, but talent management, succession planning, and आपका HR audit. These we have discussed earlier also, right? The succession planning is something, it is kind of a like when the leaders, the co-leaders will leave the organization, they'll retire or die, who is the next, who is going to handle those particular posts आपका, right? So that is something we are preparing people for these kind of things. Then we have HR audit आपका, ठीक है, the accountability system that measure success and feed data back to the CEO itself. So that is something which generally comes under this one. ABM, Rupa ma'am, no. Okay, this is आपका not possible now. Reason being, they have already released the sometime what happened when you see your scorecard, right? The provisional scorecard they generally release आपका just after 3-4 days of examination. If there is any increment in that particular one due to some wrong question or something else, that is the only one. And same score you'll see in your final आपका area itself, right? So very आपका like there is no chance basically. I'll not आपका like this is आपका truth, huh? So when it comes to CEO mandate आपका, and I guess there are many people आपका, some people having this score in, I yesterday also I got a same case 44 in some other subject, right? So this is something like you have to go through that particular exam again, and if anything else below आपका 50 in other subject also, that also you have to, means you have to wait for one another season for this exam, right? Chalo. So now when it comes to CEO mandate, so basically the CEO, which is mostly related, their activities are related to strategy and operation, develop and implement the strategy, authorize आपका budget, they hire and terminate staff, आपका monitor and principal the risk. So the role and responsibilities of CEO. One is strategy and operation related. When it comes to governance, enforce internal control, maintain management information system, ensure lawful and ethical conduct also. When it comes to आपका relations team, act as a management liaison, means liaison is basically they generally pass on the information to the board, right? So that is the person who is working in between आपका the entire team versus the board itself, right? Develop meeting आपका agendas, inform directors to enable आपका appropriate judgment. Then we have stakeholders and public trust. So maintain corporate citizenship, ensure आपका integrity of the public disclosure, and monitor external material factors. So this is something कि they are accountable to the all the stakeholders आपका. So means their decision are governed by the stakeholders theory, means any decision they are making, they are considering the favor of each and every party which generally get affected by the person itself, right? Or by the decision itself. So CEO, when it comes to CEO role, आपका role and responsibilities which can be further categorized among these one. So this is the list आपका which we have further categorized among the different areas. So that is something which is generally comes under the role or the responsibilities and the duties of CEO in an organization. Now the another part when it comes to CEO and talent management. So talent management is something where we generally like we are retaining the skilled person, or we are recruiting the skilled person or organizational fit people, right? So this is something the overall taking care around the good people which is contributing or they are making some sort of value contribution for the organization. So talent management is a process by which organization identify, manage, and develop its people now and the future. So the areas which generally it include, it is आपका developing a strategy to determine what the organization need to meet the current and future demand of the business plan, establishing आपका process of a process to measure competence required and available, creating a range of development tools and process to provide tailored approach depending on the individual need, identifying way to obtain and retain those who are critical to success, establishing आपका suitable approach to deal with those who no longer fit in the organization requirement, measuring the impact these strategies have so the policy can be continually updated and refined to deliver high performance now and in the future आपका, right? So this is something कि we are preparing, like this is something, this is not only the futuristic, it is the present also, right? So how we are grooming our existing employees so that they can perform well today itself and आपका in the future itself. So basically from the overall areas when it comes to HR to strategic talent management, so it is the earlier one, the traditional one, to आपका talent management. The differences basically when it comes to ownership, it is centralized आपका entirely within the HR department. Here it is आपका federated to frontline managers and driven by the CEO. Then we have focus. It is administrative benefit, आपका tracking and all kind of things. When it is comes to professional development, improving top tier personals. Then आपका horizon, it is short term mostly. It is आपका long term planning tied directly to the overall organizational goal itself, right? So the difference between human resource and your आपका talent management. So talent management, which is something in somehow which is generally driven by the or led by the CEO team itself, right? Now the next one, how talent management differ from HR. So this is something what we have to which we have discussed आपका just now, right? Next one, executive and आपका line manager. तो executive at the top level, basically those who are decision maker. Line manager, like the branch manager and all, those who handling the real situation, right? So basically when it comes to formation and development of executive teams and the line management in organization, which include executive team are created to achieve specific strategic objective within a set timeline. In early stage, team have low cohesion and effectiveness due to आपका uncertainty about the role and team dynamics. This phase is marked by the learning and adoption, where member contribute personal insight and experiences. As they collaborate and experiences early success, team cohesion and effectiveness grow, creating a positive feedback loop itself. Once the team achieve its first strategic subject success, it become highly cohesive and effective, and with shared team memory with guide to the future action. Mature team adopt quickly to external changes and perform like experienced adult due to their shared knowledge and the role clarity itself. Okay, there must be one slide आपका relate. हाँ, this is the one. So when it comes to this, तो executive versus आपका executive to frontline team. So basically here the low cohesion, uncertainty and all what we have discussed. Then आपका we start learning and आपका adoption. Then आपका the catalyst, first strategic success and all. Then it comes to line managers to move beyond the function based tasks to handle the cross functional duties like strategic planning and employee development. So it is something like executive management, middle, and आपका supervisory and all. So that's something what generally comes under this particular part itself. Now, in continuation with this particular one, winning team आपका. So success team required credible leadership, clear role and direction, shared purpose and values, trust among the peer and stakeholders relationship. Line management, structure and role. Line management is a hierarchical system आपका authority flow from top to down, means that this executive to your supervisory management. Then we have employee typically report to the single supervisors and management has direct control, though traditional functional based or line manager now handle the cross functional things आपका. The stuck, it depend on the organization structure, especially when it comes to metrics and all. The lowest level in the structure is आपका supervisory management. So that is something how it generally comes under this particular one. Okay, you got this one, guys. Your आपका executive cohesion to आपका frontline. So initially kind of experiment phase, then we set the entire process and we generally develop some sort of आपका expertise around these particular one. Now the next one what we have, that is succession planning. The next subtopic which we have part of this one. So succession planning, this is something key like it is kind of we are planning, or we have a kind of a proactive approach toward the replacement of leaders in the organization. It is not something which we are doing optionally. We have gone through many research, and these research says आपका कि 80% of global business at their are family owned, ठीक है? So 80% global business are family owned. Now only 1% आपका North American family business that successfully reached to third generation leadership. Means what happened here, ठीक है, let's say X started some business, X son is Y who continue that particular business, Y son is suppose that G. But now this G is not having any interest in the same business due to they got higher opportunities or education and everything. So they develop their interest in something else. So that is something creating some sort of problem. Ki who is going to handle this business after Y, right? So that is like just because of this, the need of succession planning arise, right? So that is something. 30% business with absolutely आपका no identified successors. So there like 30% businesses where we do not have answer to this question आपका who is going to handle this. 58% of small owners citing inadequate succession as the biggest threat आपका. So especially small businesses, because their parents they have started something, now they have like their kids are well educated and also they want to follow something else, so that creates some sort of problem. So like second generation leader in India are increasingly professionally educated. Aditya Birla Group's revamp leadership by the appointing the professional manager rule as a new chairman itself. So this is something the examples are. So that's why we got a need for the succession planning. Now what is succession planning? So succession planning is a crucial aspect of the long-term business sustainability, ensuring leadership continuity when the current leaders retire, resign, or pass away. So the most large businesses, the data which we have gone through, आपका right. So that is आपका same. Now when it comes to current operation, grooming internal talent. The overall area is grooming internal talent for the future leadership, aligning personal capabilities with the future आपका goal, and integrating आपका seamlessly with the overall business and HR strategy itself. So basically how we are doing with this one. So a systematic process of identifying, developing, retaining capable individual to fill the leadership role in the event of retirement, आपका resignation, and sudden absence itself. So that we will be having someone else who will be leading that particular one itself, right? So the 5 point step for this one, end-to-end succession planning, it start with the your आपका identify the key role where we will be requiring आपका succession planning, right? So target position critical to operational health or the future goal where vacancy equally आपका vulnerability. So replace, you remember the difference between replacement and आपका succession planning. Replacement is something ki like some person leave the organization, we are have someone else, and because that post is not that much impact making and all. But succession planning is mostly for these kind of areas, some strategic post in the organization which if no one will be there, it will make a greater impact on the adverse impact on the businesses, right? The first, identify key role, these aapka role. Then define capabilities, what type of skill set is required to handle those particular posts. So map required knowledge, skill, ability, and key leadership competence. Then we have your third step आपका, discuss career plan with interested employees, identify diverse आपका feeders group and आपका capable of development stay. Then knowledge transfer like employees learning plans to आपका future role require, and the capture corporate memory also. Then finally evaluate and monitor, track fill rate आपका representation in the feeders group and effectiveness of nearly promoted leaders itself, right? So any person who is get appointed with the succession planning, so the effectiveness and how they are handling the post itself. So these 5 areas which are generally part of this one. Okay, this is the 5 step आपका which is given in your book also. Identify key areas and position. Identify capabilities for the key areas and position. Then आपका identify interested employees and assess them against the capabilities through assessment center or others. Develop and implement succession and knowledge transfer. Evaluate the effectiveness. Any employees who get promoted through the succession planning and all, so we need to act around those particular. So managerial succession planning, these are the आपका the toolkit basically, right? So it include analysis of demand for manager and the professional, audit of existing executive, आपका future likely supply from the internal sources, individual career path planning also, like if there are some good performing employees, so at the time of appraisals we are like making some sort of career path for them. Key, like after 1 years they'll be get promoted for this one, what skills they have to develop within this particular time frame. So that is something. Then we have career counseling that will also have accelerated promotions, periodical evaluation of performance of the incumbents, performance related training and development, strategic recruitment for filling gap in top आपका position itself. So that is something which generally comes under this particular one. Okay, now next one. So the next topic we have, first one was CEO and the talent management. Then next one is your it is related to succession planning, the steps. Now the next one is audit. Okay? HR audit. HR audit is basically we are checking the effectiveness and robustness of the HR department or the HR policies or the entire framework. Okay? How effectively they are managing things. And overall quality control check, evaluating how personal activities, people related activities support the company strategy itself, which generally comes under this. So the steps which is involved in this one, define desired HR practices of the organization, what we want from the HR team, like kind of KRA of HR team. Then आपका assess the current practices against the established criteria. Okay, this is your standard and this is your actual. Then आपका analyze the result, means this versus this, and if there is some negative or positive variances. Okay? So आपका establish improvement goals and take the action itself. Okay? If there is some any negative variances, fix those particular one. So when it comes to आपका HR audit, strategic purposes why we audit this one, clearly आपका clarify desired role of HR and line managers, establish a baseline for future improvements, standardize the practice across multiple division, and आपका assess required skill of the current HR practitioners. When it comes to tangible outcome, what we gain from this, cost reduction via effective personal procedures, timely compliance with legal requirement, uniformity in HR policies and best practices, improve आपका improve professional image and acceptance of change. That is the another one which we generally try to achieve through this particular one. Now measuring the success, key audit performance indicators. So basically it is आपका speed and efficiency, reduction in time taken to fill the open position, means आपका how, like earlier it was taking suppose that 1 month to fill one post, now it is taking 10 days only. Reduction in आपका response time for the administrative request, any employee have file any sort of request, so how quickly the HR team is handling that particular one. Capabilities and continuity, percentage of current employees succession successfully आपका trained, or readiness of succession and replacement planning. So these are the parameter on which, based on which we are generally assessing the HR things, right? Retention and culture, strict control over the employees turnover rate, prompt action on employee engagement survey result. Then आपका strategic alignment, development of the total compensation philosophy, HR ultimate contribution to bottom line business result. So this is something how we are generally assessing the overall areas itself. So HR audit, okay? So this is something what we have discussed in that particular one, all the areas and the different ways to assess this one, okay? So आपका the example of the improvement, the just now we have gone through all these particular one, and this is your one shot summary also. So please do revise with this one whenever you go for the revision part, right? Chalo. Now next first question on your screen, guys. CIB aspirant 007 bond, huh? Yeah, so I have uploaded on application. You can access through that particular one, sir, right? So, which of the following statement regarding the role and responsibilities of CEO are correct? The first slide itself, right? CIB, sir, you got this one. Okay. So you can download the application and you will get all these particular one, right? So the CEO act as a liaison between organization and external stakeholder. Liaison means who pass on the information, including आपका regulator, investor and आपका supplier also. The CEO is solely responsible for formulating company strategy. No. Next one we have as a resource allocator, CEO has authority over budget approval, staffing decision, and organization structuring. Next one is the CEO expected to ensure the internal control system and risk management framework are effectively implemented and monitored. The next one is the classical managerial function of planning, organizing, coordinating, and controlling fully capture the modern role of CEO in an organization. Planning, organizing, coordinating, and controlling fully capture in modern role of the organization. This is I'm a bit doubtful. What you guys suggesting? C आपका okay. Well, this last statement is planning, organizing is fine. Coordinating and this आपका ना this part actually coordinating and आपका controlling it bit doubtful. These two yes, but we'll check the answer. Huh? Yeah. Modern research shows the classical function like planning and controlling do not fully capture by the complexity of CEO role, while आपका interpersonal, informational and decision role are in this one. Okay, please do remember this one. Huh? This is from that list only, right? The list आपका which we have gone through now. There is a list आपका around a 17 18 function which is performed by CEO. So that is part of this one. So that means 134. 134 means that's why option B is the right answer for this particular one. ठीक है किशोर sir, कुटे sir and Rani ma'am, please do remember this. Next one आपका CEO led talent management. This is from here, huh? It was somewhere I have seen this. Okay, I'm not getting as of now. So, talent management in a leading organization is increasingly treated as strategic function, directly linked with business performance and long-term competitive advantages. आपका that is true. The next one we have most CEOs fully आपका delegate talent management responsibility to HR department. And no, most CEOs fully delegate. No, this should not be right. आपका right. A significant number of CEOs spend more than 20% of working time on talent management activities such as succession planning in this. The next one is your formal measurement of return on asset of talent management initiative is widely implemented and standard across this particular. This should be wrong. This is more qualitative actually. So effective talent management system often combine performance evaluation, leadership assessment, developmental intervention, such as monitoring and job rotation. Yes, 135 option A, D. Okay, Rani ma'am is saying A and Kude sir is saying D. D is 135 4. Okay, I will check this one. A is the right answer for this one. CEO are increasingly directly involved in talent management rather than fully delegating. Most organizations do not systematically measure ROI on talent management despite believing it impact. This is something the problem or the challenge is it is very difficult to measure up, right? So it is very difficult to measure because this is something the qualitative advancement of the talent itself. So that's why this is something or which is bit difficult to measure in case. Next one, guys. Executive team, their evolution and the line management. So line management structure is strictly cross-functional. No, this is line management is not cross-functional. It is the executive, middle management, and the supervisor. This is wrong. Once formed, executive team immediately operate at peak efficiency due to prior expertise. Yes, they have once formed executive team immediately. No, not immediately. आपका they take time to gain that experience. Then once we have gained the experience, then we able to improvise the product. This should be wrong also. The adolescent stage of team development, positive feedback between success, cohesion, and effectiveness strengthen the overall performance. Now this is correct, right? Memory is highly cohesive team help standardize the responses to recurring external challenges based on the past experiences. Executive team typically experience a phase of low cohesion and uncertainty during the initial arc of formation stage. So 3, 4, 5 means आपका D should be right answer for this particular one. Line management is a hierarchical with a clear chain of commands and single reporting authority. Second, team do not function at peak efficiency immediately. Initial stage involve learning, adjustment, and आपका external orientation. It's next one, guys. So regarding the succession planning, and you have to find out the correct statement. Succession planning is one-time exercise, primarily focused on replacing top leaders. It is not a one-time thing. It is a kind of a recurring things with the organization as organization grow, right? So effective succession planning require identifying key positions that are critical to organizational continuity and strategic goal. Career counseling and development planning form an integral part of managerial succession planning success. Yes, succession planning ensure that all leadership positions are filled externally. It is mostly when it comes to succession planning, it is internal. Evaluation of succession planning include assessing how quickly key positions are filled and how effective new incumbents perform. This is 235. 235 means option A will be right answer for this particular one. Very good. Alvin sir is also here. Succession planning is an ongoing structure process, not one time आपका thing. And the fourth one, succession planning emphasis on both internal development and external recruitment. Mostly it is internal, but when we are not having आपका enough resources, then you can go for the external, right? Next one. Paripal ji, very good evening. Which of the following statement about job family model and modern succession planning approach are correct? So job family framework primarily group role आपका based on similarity of work nature, true है, skill and competency requirement rather than organizational hierarchy and job title. This is 100% true. When it comes, this is the meaning of job family, where we generally आपका framework primarily group role based on the similarity of work nature और आपका skills and the competency, like PO family, clerk family or the other family, right? So this is something. OECD has developed आपका mandatory global standard. So these are advisory, not mandatory. A hybrid HR model combining job families with specialist cadre in often used balanced career mobility with the deep domain expertise, right? Like we have created a job family with specialization like SO and other kind of things. So that will help. A job family system generally discourages internal आपका mobility across a function. No, it encourage, not discourage. In modern HR strategy, job families can support integrated talent management by linking recruitment, development, and internal career progression activities or pathways. 135. 135 means option B will be right answer. So OECD does not impose mandatory global HR structure. And fourth one is job families actually encourage आपका mobility within and across the function so that people can develop the different skill sets, right? Next one, guys. Which of the following statement regarding human resource audit are correct? Human resource audit, this was the final topic. So human resource audit, and you have to find out the correct one. One another set आपका I have done in past. So the question, if you see the question areas and all, that is completely different from this particular set. So you can watch those one also, or else you can leave them, because आपका Friday I'll come up with a marathon session where we will be discussing all the unit MCQs. So I'll be keeping those particular question also, so that you can revise and you do not have to give time to those particular videos. You just stick to आपका this session, then आपका morning you can go for the module mock, or whenever you get time आपका revise with the PDF. So that will help you guys. So HR audit primarily focus on evaluating HR activities to determine how effectively they support आपका organizational strategy. HR audit is one time diagnostic exercise. No, it is a kind of a ongoing process, right? Next one, evidence used in HR audit assessment can include HRIS data, ठीक है, और आपका employee surveys, interviews and आपका policy document, ठीक है. So these all are HRIS, HRMS, all these are same, right? One of the key objective of HR audit is to standardize HR practices across different units. HR audit result are typically not linked to organizational planning. They do. This is wrong. So 134. 134 means option C should be right answer for this particular one. So incorrect one आपका HR audit is a continuous cycle process, and HR audit outcome are often directly used in planning and goal setting, improvements and all, right? Next question. Okay, now the next unit is आपका communication. So next unit we have communication. So this is a very simple one. I hope you have read this particular one earlier also, right? So when it comes to communication, what is communication? It is an exchange of idea, information, thought. So we need आपका minimum two people for the to communicate, right? So these two people, one is आपका sender, another one is called आपका receiver, right? So where one person who is passing on some information, thought, idea to the another person. Now this process, the process should be there. So when it comes to the communication process, it include many step आपका, like we have information sender, then we have encoding. Basically sender use some text, image or video, anything up, any elements, so that he can convey that information, right? Then we have a tool message आपका, right? We are using different tool आपका, through which we are sending this message. Then encoding, sorry, decoding. Then we have decoding which is done by the receiver. Basically in decoding stage, receiver interpret the data itself, right? Then आपका it end with the feedback loop, right? So feedback is the end. Sometime what happen, there are some barriers to effective communication. Means sender send आपका X and receiver receive it as Y. That means there is some problem with this particular communication, right? So what are these particular barriers? It can be related to organization, or it can be related to the psychology of the person, sender or the receiver itself, right? It can be some semantic barriers, the language related thing, cultural barriers, or many more, right? So that you have to step in. Effective step in effective communication, how to resolve those particular barriers, HR and communication. So that is something what generally comes under in this particular one, right? The communication, when it comes to communication, it is all about your an exchange of idea, information and thought. Then the areas which generally comes under this one. So basically we have a source, means आपका sender, then आपका we transmit, encoding, then we use some channel like mobile phone, or as we are using this digital information tool, right? Then आपका decoding which is done by the your receiver. So that is then आपका feedback. Sometimes some noise is there. That noise is generally known as your what it is called, barriers to the effective communication, right? So here when it comes to this particular one, on the basis of the number of experiment, Levitt formed these conclusion. Okay, we have different types of communication, right? So we can have one-way communication is faster than आपका two-way communication. Two-way communication is more accurate than one-way communication. Receiver are more sure of themselves and make more correct judgment of how right or wrong they are in the two-way communication. The one-way communication is kind of autocratic approach of management, where leader is telling people you have to do this by this way. Okay? They are not taking any feedback in this. Two-way communication आपका, which is why it is more preferable, because the another party is also having some sort of autonomy to provide the feedback or to share their आपका views around that particular one. So that's why receiver are more sure of themselves and make more corrective judgment of how right and wrong they are in the two-way system. Sender feel psychologically under the attack of two-way system, because his receivers pick up his mistake and oversight and point out them. Like let's say if I tell something about, like let's say if I'm talking about some process, sender आपका, then receiver, and what I did a mistake कि sender decode the message and receiver encode the message. This is wrong. Okay, this is wrong. Somebody आपका out of you, like they escalated this one कि no, this is you are saying wrong. It should be आपका sender who encode a receiver who decode, right? So that is something आपका the instant feedback which we are getting in two-way communication. If it is one way, like let's say I have recorded one video and I have tell like this is thing, so that is something it will create a problem. The two-way आपका methods is relatively noisier because the other party will escalate things and look more disorderly. The one-way methods is the other hand appear neat and efficient to outside observers and others, right? So one-way and two-way communication kind of, which is generally given by Levitt आपका, right? The areas. Now this is not the only one. We have many other type आपका. If this slide should come later, I guess. Yes, sir. So when it comes to the chart which we have gone through, Shannon and Weber's model of communication, the chart which we have gone through in the beginning, the process of communication. So what they generally said, the model deal with various concepts like information source, transmitter, noise, channel, message, receiver, channels, information, destination, encode and decode. So they define a process. The process is like we have one आपका person who is called sender, who send the message, who pass on the information, who is a source of information, right? Then आपका encoding. Encoding means converting that idea or thought into understandable way, right? Let's say I want to express something. So what I'm doing, I have designed a chart. So through which, so that receiver, you can interpret that particular one. So that is designing this chart. That thought into chart is your आपका encoding. Then we use channel. Channel is basically the medium of, like as we are using this online platform, it can be a WhatsApp text or a simple message or anything else. Then decoder, a receiver who decode or try to interpret that आपका message according to their expertise, motive, interest, and receive. And then it provide the feedback, right? So sometimes there is some noise also. The noise means some sort of disturbance in the communication. It can be a distance. Simple noise is distance. One party and another party. There's a huge distance between these two parties. Or it can be simple noise also. Okay, there is something which is very loud. Two people, they won't be able to communicate. It can be cultural differences, language differences. It can be आपका maturity differences, the understanding level. Like let's say this finance manager आपका giving some sort of speech to the labor class. Ki if you will put some additional effort, your EBITDA, company EBITDA or company आपका profit after tax will increase. How they'll understand what is EBITDA, depreciation and other things, right? So that is something आपका, that is called semantic barriers or other kind of things, right? So that is something which generally comes in. So two things as per Levitt, we have आपका one way, two way communication. Then आपका Simon and Weber. This is something which is very, very important. Huh? Please do remember this one. Okay? So the process which include all these particular stages. Apart from this also, we have type of communication. So type of communication we have based on interpersonal or based on आपका directional. So when it comes to interpersonal, we have verbal, spoken and written आपका say this is something a communication between me and you, right? Non-verbal is basically it generally support to verbal communication, the gestures or the hand movements or eye contact and other kind of things which is non-verbal. So gesture, posture, silence, non-verbal cues always accompany the personal verbal communication and reveal the आपका relationship, right? When it comes to directional, we have different one, right? So it is आपका external versus internal. Internal, which is within the organizational hierarchy, it can be upward, downward, vertical, diagonal and others, right? So it is vertical. Vertical means this, right? Okay, so vertical आपका a leader versus subordinate, so which is आपका vertical. Then we have horizontal, leader versus another leader or subordinate versus आपका another subordinate. This is your horizontal. This is your vertical. Diagonal आपका, ठीक है, we have this. So diagonal आपका, ठीक है, this leader versus this subordinate आपका, right? So this is called diagonal. And आपका supporting the task performance. External आपका customer and others, ठीक है, outside the organization. Formal versus informal. Formal is basically which is related to office system or organizational thing, which is defined by the organization. So structured आपका hierarchical path ensuring the accountability. Informal, which is also known as gray point. So it is called gray point. So this is something ki in office you are making some friend, you are discussing about some movie, you are discussing about some kind of आपका like some political agendas or even about something which is not correctly related to your आपका work things and all, right? The next one we have Levitt network of topologies, communication topologies. Sometimes they also ask these one, and now they are asking 1 marks question, so there is high chances. Huh? So circle based communication can be circle based to where information is passing like this, right? We have आपका wheel based, ठीक है? So it is passing from center to spreading like this, ठीक है? So in this information is passing like this. Okay. So in this cycle, it is आपका information, the sender is here and they are passing like this. When it comes to chain, in this आपका top to bottom or bottom to up, this is the kind of area, right? Then when it comes to Y structure, from here to here, then it is passing on. And we have network base आपका where we have multiple axes. Gray point is equal to informal. Okay? Gray point communication is equal to informal. This is something like this. When it comes to gray point, like let's say one person who is communicating with आपका, like let's say this is a clerk in organization. He is communicating with आपका MD. अब there is no direct reporting between clerk and MD. That is formally he has to report to the immediate superior. But in gray point, in informal structure, they are आपका discussing some आपका let's say some movie आपका or some economic related geopolitical issues and all. So this is gray point. Okay? It does not follow any hierarchy and all. It is informal structure where we are communicating with others. Okay? This is something like we are not bounded by the organizational आपका hierarchy or like the structure in others. Okay, good day, sir. Got it. So this is something which generally comes under this one. So Levitt, who generally define this particular one way versus two-way also, which we have discussed just now, right? Apart from this, we have the definition of Henry fuel also. That is, you remember that there is one thing called scalar chain. So scalar chain, or that is also known as fuel bridge. Okay? When it comes to Henry fuel, how we define कि communication must be आपका defined like president, vice president, आपका senior manager, then आपका subordinate. Means order should come in this particular direction and reporting should be in this direction. Okay? This is called structure of power. That is the one. What is for some sort of contingency or any sort of emergency, we can break this particular one. That break is known as आपका gangplank, right? But that is not part of your curriculum. So organizational structure, principle and managerial authority. It is called administrative theory of management. 14 principle are there, right? Then we have Chester Bernard. When it comes to Chester Bernard, how it is a cooperative system, a rule for authentic channel and superior subordinate coordination. So he said कि like there must be a defined way आपका, ठीक है, similar to this one, and there must be a channel how superior will connect to subordinate or how subordinate will respond to that particular one. Peter Sang आपका the learning organization, system thinking and adaptability and continuous cross the departmental feedbacks and others, that opportunities must be there. So one by one, let's go through all these particular one. So when it comes to your Henry fuel, आपका fuel explain four stages, four set of principle. These include the areas like how an organization should be structured, managers should handle the power, employees should आपका employee are rewarded, and employees attitude itself. So this is something based on that hierarchical structure, and they what they generally said कि there must be a proper kind of there must be a proper hierarchy for the communication things itself, right? Next one, okay, personal, interpersonal, verbal, and the another one which we have discussed here also. Bernard one is missing kya from here? Peter saying, okay, we'll check. Maybe it will come later. Next one, we have six barriers to communication. So when it comes to barriers to communication, so there are many barriers. Barriers means like which is sender send आपका X and it is received as receiver received this particular one as Y. Means there is some problem in this particular communication. Of these barriers or noise can be, it can be physical. आपका in that office area we are doing meeting where there is a lots of noise or आपका environmental noise, distance, poor equipments and others, right? It is something ki, let's say we are using आपका anything, any tool आपका, that tool is not working, ठीक है? So on mobile phone there is no signals or anything else. Language आपका, it language related barriers, jargon, the use, as I gave you an example of that finance manager who is using the terminology like EBITDA, PAT and others, which is beyond the आपका understanding level or maturity of those subordinate, right? Nowadays people they use some आपका shortcut language ना, especially this Gen Z people आपका, they come up with for everything they have shortcut, so it is very आपका difficult to understand. Technology आपका acronyms, ambiguity and आपका different आपका dialects means the local languages. Organizational, sometime organization also they are having some sort of rigidity in their structure. Okay, they have कि और आपका they have designer structure where people can merely express their feeling and others, right? So rigid hierarchy, information overload, lack of feedback loop. Cultural आपका ठीक है, every culture they have having different norms. So in one culture it can the meaning of especially that non-verbal cues आपका, it can be different from the another culture, right? The third, it can lead to some sort of misinterpretation. Psychological, the state of mind of that particular person, the receiver as well as sender, right? So if, or even time effect or many more आपका, which generally comes under this one. So let's go through all these particular one by one quickly. So when it comes to your semantic barriers, is misinterpretation of word or phrase that have different meaning to the different people. It has complexity of the masses also. Overly complex or convoluted masses, they are difficult to understand, right? Especially the contract term and others things. Then we have physical barriers when it comes to आपका physical barriers, environmental noise, where we are speaking something like, let's say I'm delivering some session, there is some noise from the background, so you won't be able to listen carefully, so that is something a noise. Distance आपका, right? One person is one side of office and another person, there are many other आपका areas in this, so he's when they are speaking that can create some issue. Poor equipments, like when we are like sometime what happened, like, let's say we are using a third party application, I deliver something but there is some glitches in that application, that is creating some sort of problem also, right? Then we have psychological, the state of mind, prejudice and bias also. Sometimes we are having some sort of pre-notions for the things, right? So preconceived notions or stereotype. Stereotype is basically making judgment based on the group, right? This is something कि आपका, let's say we have two group X and group Y. Group X is आपका, they are very noble, like they know for the nobility or they're known for आपका, they'll be sincere and others. Let's say 50 people are there and group Y, they are kind of notorious, okay? So they are always known for every khurapat in the organization. Up we, when we judge people, we judge people based on the आपका the group they represent. Let's say 50 people are there, it is not necessarily all 50 people will be sincere in this particular one. So means we are making आपका a stereotype judgment here, bias, right? Stereotype. It is not necessarily all the group member of Y are notorious, khurapati and others, right? So that is something which generally comes under this. Emotional states, when we are in stress, anger, anxiety, it can distort how we आपका send messages or how we perceive messages. Lack of confidence, fear of speaking or expressing ideas result in आपका ineffective communication. Language barriers, jargon, we have talked about this. ambiguity, the if that message is unclear or vague. We have आपका differences also, ठीक है, differences in language itself. Cultural barriers आपका, when it comes to this, variation in cultural norm, value and communication system, non-verbal misinterpretation आपका, the body language, the cues which we are using, they might have right like a different meaning in different culture, right? Organizational barriers आपका hierarchy, rigid hierarchy, information overload, आपका lack of information overload means आपका we have lots of information and it is taking time to filter it out, right? So that is also आपका problematic. Lack of feedback channel and others. So these are some core barriers in our आपका what it is called your when it comes to the communication, effective communication. Okay. So Chester Bernard cooperative system to deal with this. So what he said, channel of communication must be definitely known. So first to deal with these particular barriers, Chester Bernard who come up with the strategy itself, right? So first one is the channel of communication must be definitely known to parties so that they are comfortable. Define formal channel to every member, how they can raise their voice. Line must be direct and आपका short as possible, right? Like let's say if a person have to connect someone, so there must be a आपका clear and direct line, right? The next one is your the complete formal line should normally be used आपका team whenever they are interacting. Communication centers maintained by the competent person. Then आपका uninterrupted line during the organization functioning. Every communication must be authenticated. Yashasvi ma'am is saying, sir, I have selected rural banking as elective paper. Can you share schedule? That is already going on na. Yashasvi ma'am, Appa, can you please check the another session? Simultaneously, we are doing the session. Ma'am already done with one session आपका yesterday itself, right? Module A, unit 1 to 5. Today, ma'am is doing 5 to 10, right? Devashri ma'am is doing these particular session. So in your course itself, you'll see all those particular one. Please, it is for 6:30 p.m. आपका rural banking and 7 p.m. आपका HRM. 6 a.m. we are doing आपका central banking also. So for rural banking you will see 6:30. Ma'am is already taking that session. Ma'am is also live right now. Okay, please check that one. So Chester Bernard आपका thought on the organizational communication and how we can improvise. Again, important one, right? So please do remember this one. This kind of theories and all, right? So they generally help in the overall areas. Next one we now these came Chester Bernard. Now the another one was Peterson's continuous evolution आपका, ठीक है, Peterson's continuous evolution. So system thinking आपका, viewing the organization not as isolated but it is आपका a highly interconnected component. You remember that system theory wala, organization is bigger system, contain many subsystem and all. Every communication affect the holistic आपका structure itself, right? So if anything is going, it will affect the entire organization. Then आपका learning organization encourage cross departmental collaboration to promote आपका continuous adoption. तो a synergy और आपका interconnectedness among all these particular ones so that we can आपका knowledge sharing and agility and continuous feedback. So this is something how we are running the entire organization. Then okay, so here is your summary also, only one page of summary. Please do follow this one while you revise things. Now let's practice, guys. First question on your screen. Okay, guys. So, what will be your correct answer? Which of the following statement regarding organizational communication are correct? So, first one, when it comes to this one, so organizational communication is limited to formal exchange such as meetings, a report. Organizational communication is limited to formal. No, we have formal and informal both, right? Like informal communication, you cannot restrict the informal communication, right? So that is inherent part of the organization. Grapevine communication operate outside formal structure but often carry useful and timely organization information. Yes. Outward upward communication include feedback, grievance, suggestion in this. So this is आपका upward communication is subordinate to आपका manager. So अब in this in downward communication manager will giving order report to this. Here he will be giving suggestion और आपका grievances, any problem or feedback in this. 100% true है. The next one we have early organizational communication theories viewed communication as purely symbolic process with no link to organizational efficiency. No. Even after from the beginning also we have given importance to this. This should be wrong, correct? So downward communication typically involve the transmission of instruction, policies and organizational goal from top to subordinate. Downward, ठीक है, manager to subordinate, right? It led to these particular thing. So 235 means option A only will be right answer for this particular one. Okay, guys. Elvin sir. So early theories largely treated communication as a mechanical process aimed आपका improving efficiency and organization, not purely आपका symbolic. That is the case. But communication was like always part of the discussion. So communication network or channel or direction आपका, and you have to find out the correct one. So in Wheeler आपका star communication pattern, one central individual typically control and distribute the information. Okay, so this is आपका Wheeler where we have the center and this is the one, right? So this is which generally control the areas itself. So true है first statement. Chain of command pattern ensure the fastest possible information flow among the all network. No, we cannot say आपका chain of command, right? Chain of command, no, chain of command is this, right? So here आपका if this president want to pass something, first it will come to vice president, then this, then it will come to subordinate. Wheeler will be आपका the most where we can directly communicate things because information is passed from one to all आपका, right? So this should be wrong. Second one, according to experimental observation, one-way communication is generally faster than the two-way communication. Yes. Third one is fourth one, two-way communication improve accuracy but may reduce the perceived speed and efficiency of this one. True hai. Next one is two-way communication system receive tend to we have a greater confidence in evaluating the correctness of these responses. Communication network influence group behavior only in formal organization, no relevance in formal or no, this is wrong. One-way communication is often perceived as more orderly and less noisy. Yes, 100% true because this is something ki manager have given order to subordinate, do this by this way within this time duration. If you'll do, you'll get reward, otherwise you'll get punished. You do not have to come up with, you do not have to use your own brain in this. In another two-way communication, this will provide the feedback and other things, so that is time taking, right? So what you guys suggesting for this one? No one. Why no one, guys? This was very easy. Just now we have gone through this one. 1 3 4 5. 13457 means option D will be right answer for this particular one. Okay. Network communication is fast. Network communication, when it comes to network communication is also slow. This is similar to this one only, right? Network communication is also आपका just a minute. First, I'll check the answer of this. Yes, option D. Network communication. When it comes to network communication, आपका that is also should be slow because things are passing like this, right? So that's we have something like this, right? So this information is going like this, or this, or this. So it is also slow up, right? The out of all these particular one, na, this is the chart. So here, see, when it comes to circle, it is something ki information is going like this. So similarly in chain also, आपका top to down, right? Order, and reporting आपका, this is the one. And in case of Y style also here, then this person is disseminating the information. Still we have a mediocre. In this one also, we are having something like this. Information is passing multiple ways. In wheeler आपका or star, this is also known as star, where what is happening, one information is spreading from the center to all at the same time, right? So this is, that's why it is reaching to each and every individual at the same time, or that is something, that's why it is bit faster than that. Okay, so D was the right answer for this particular one. Next one, guys. So, which of the following statement regarding communication theories and organizational communication principle are correct? So, what will be your correct answer? The Shannon and Weaver model of communication identify noise as any factor that disrupt or distort the masses during the transmission. 100% true, right? So, next one, in Shannon and Weaver model, communication is considered complete. Just a minute, guys. Hello. नमस्ते सर. सर, I'm in a class. Can you please be quick? सर, मैं क्लास में हूँ. बताएंगे थोड़ा सा. हाँ सर, मेरे को ना टाइम लगेगा, 11 बजे का, तो या फिर अपन कल भी कर सकते हैं. आप मुझे एक बार व्हाट्सएप पे मैसेज डाल देना सर ना, जो भी आपका कंसर्न. हाँ 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 हाँ. हम्म. ओके. ठीक है. हाँ, डन डन. आप सर मुझे व्हाट्सएप कीजिएगा, मैं आपको शेयर करता हूँ कुछ ना. ओके. थैंक यू. थैंक यू. Okay, so the next one is what you guys suggesting. A. Rani ma'am is saying option A. The Shannon and Weber communication is considered complete only when the message is encoded by the sender, regardless of decoder is also very important. Again, decode is also important, so this is wrong. Henry Fuel principle of management include guidelines related to organizational structure, authority, remuneration, and employee behavior. The next one we have Chester Bernard view of communication as a secondary administrative function that mainly support formal reporting system without influencing or with आपका, this should be wrong again. According to Bernard, communication channel should clear, direct, authenticated and use आपका formal. This is true. So 135 means I'll also go with option A. Very good, Elvin sir, Rani ma'am. So option A. Communication is not complete आपका unless message is correctly decoded, right? That is a part of that process. So sender, then encoding, then आपका message channel, then we have decoding, then we have receiver, right? This flow, and it end with the feedback loop. right? Bernard considered communication as a central and saving force, not आपका the secondary one. Next one, guys. So, which of the following statement regarding the organizational communication are correct? Very easy one, guys. Non-verbal communication always accompanies verbal communication, and can someone convey more meaning than आपका spoken words, right? The आपका head movement, eye contact, आपका body language that support the verbal communication, right? Formal communication in organization is generally flexible, unstructured, and follow informal social relationship. Formal communication in organization is आपका fixed, it is rigid, it is structured. आपका this is about the informal communication. According to the communication studies, a significant portion of meaning to face interaction is conveyed through the body language and tone rather than the word. The next one, informal communication in organization can flow vertically, horizontally, and diagonally, depending on the structure and interaction. True. The next one is modern digital communication tool. Email, आपका completely eliminate the miscommunication because of clear and this. No, it is not complete. Even like when we go for these kind of tool, there can be misinterpretation of the word, or there is no immediate feedback आपका. These are the consequences, right? 134 means आपका option D should be right answer for this one. Okay, got it? Why option D and why this statement wrong? Because sometimes it is like, let's say you have passed on some message which is emotionally charged, so this digital communication will not help in that case. For the complex and emotionally charged message, or where we need a quick feedback, face to face interaction will only will help, right? Next one. Come on, guys. So, which of the following statement regarding barrier to effective communication are correct? So, communication overload can lead organization to ignore or cancel low priority messages, increasing risk of missing important. If you'll get many things, that is information overload, right? So it can lead to some sort of these kind of issues. True hai. um, Written communication completely eliminate interpretation errors or ensure uniform understanding. No, completely wrong. Hierarchical pressure may cause employee to give expected answer instead of आपका accurate feedback to superior. Sometime it happened or many time it happened. Next one, informal communication channels can contribute to distortion of the organizational message through the rumors, right? Sometimes rumors, that is the major concern of the informal communication, right? I gave you an example na ki, let's say your organization put one person on PIP. That person is like, even after putting on PIP, that is not improving the overall efficiency. After 1 month, we fired that person and we give a notice period of 1 month. During that 1 month, every day he is telling people that this organization is going to shut down because they do not have money and all these kind of things. So he'll be keep creating those kind of issues. Information loss may occur by masses. Information loss may occur as masses move from multiple channels. Yes. Emotional and psychological factor can influence how communication is interpreted by the individual. Yes. Organizational expansion automatically simplify the communication. It will expansion will lead to more complex communication, not simplifying. So 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 means option C. What do you say, guys? Yes. Option C will be right answer for this particular one. Correct? Hai? Next one. Which of the following statement relating to organizational communication are correct? So communication is considered complete only when receiver understand the message and same sense as initiated by the sender, right? Miscommunication may exist even when message is successfully delivered to the receiver. Yes, it is also correct. Regular management meetings conducted only during the crisis generally strengthen the two-way communication. It is not suggested, right? Upward communication mechanism help management identify operational issues and employee concern at early stage. Informal communication channels such as grapevine may sometimes provide management with reliable indicators of organization sentiment. Yes, because when we informally talk, we talk truth only, right? A cross-sectional communication primarily focus on interaction between an organization and आपका external stakeholders. Sectional communication, no, this is external, this is आपका internal actually. Interaction between आपका that आपका horizontal and all, right? Should be that. Performance reviews can function as important downward communication tool by clarifying expectation achievement in this. Yes. So means 1, 2, 4, 5, 7. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7 means option A only should be right answer for this particular one. Correct, guys? Okay. So this is all about your communication. Now next one. Next topic we have HR function. Okay, unit number 9. So HR function, this is kind of a summary what you have done in previous session, right? So HR function, see HRP. Yesterday only we discussed this particular one twice. One is basic introduction, another one is HR function in bank. Recruitment and selection. Now this we have read many times. Impact of technology in critical HR function. Okay, so that AI और आपका HR analytics and all. Social media policy of for the organization, need and content. This is something which is very very important one, right? So every organization they are having their social media policy. This is something key when you are representing organization on social media, do's and don't. ठीक है? Organization कि like let's say if you are working with SBI, so if you are representing SBI on social media, if you are even in on your personal आपका social media also, if you are wearing the t-shirt or that I-card of आपका SBI or your organization, that means you are representing that organization. So every organization, because they do not want to take anything which go against the organization value and all, so that is something, this is very important and concerning also, exam wise also important. Compensation, right? Wage policy and all. Incentive based compensation, fixed and variable, or आपका variable only, but we generally prefer the mixed one. Attrition, turnover management, when people are joining and leaving the organization. Employee risk assessment system in banquets, right? These are the areas which are generally part of this particular one. The first, when it comes to the first sorry when it comes to the pillars of HR architecture, what we have, first one is HRP. You remember HRP? HRP is human resource planning, the demand versus supply analysis. Okay, how many people we required in the future and how many people we presently have. If there is any आपका variances, like let's say we have a demand for 100 people and we have supply of 70. That means we have a negative variance of 30. So we have to go for a 30 people recruitments, or vice versa. We have excess 30 people, means if you won't be able to utilize them, you have to go for the job cut itself, right? The HRP is basically, which generally comes under this. Then talent acquisition, sourcing, e-recruitment, आपका selection in this. Then we have आपका technology, and the fourth one is your total reward and compensation in others. ठीक है, that generally comes under this particular one. So let's start the discussion with आपका HRP, human resource planning. So when it comes to human resource planning, we have 7-step plan for this. One is analyzing the organizational plan, what we are going to do in the future. Are we going for any sort of branch expansion, or we are having more digital branches and we are going to cut down the physical branches? So that kind of analysis first what we need to do here. Then this is visible, right? So when it comes to analysis of organizational plan, then आपका demand forecasting, predict the overall HR need, आपका the people requirements. Then आपका supply forecasting, how many people we have with us, inventory. Then we have आपका net requirement, the differences between these two, differences between आपका demand and supply, right? That variance, calculate the gap between demand and supply. Then आपका we have sixth one is your branch B, deficit planning team. So forecast future supply from the sources. Sorry, fifth one is this, your branch A, surplus planning. आपका we have redeployment of retirement or layoff if you have surplus, right? If you have surplus, like let's say you have demand is 100 people and you are having a supply of 150, means we have a surplus of 50. What we will do, we will do this. If there is a reverse case 150 and we have 100 only, so we required आपका 50 people and we will go for this particular one. So then action, execute the area itself, right? Very simple, very easy. I hope everyone get this particular one easily. So a typical HRP consists the following: analyzing the organizational plan, demand forecasting, supply, and आपका estimating the net human requirements. In case of surplus, go for redeployment, आपका retrenchment and layoff. In case of deficit, go for this. And seventh one is plan for recruitment, and this particular one. Got it, guys? Clear है? चल. Now next one. When it comes to forecasting techniques, आपका ठीक है, how we can manpower forecasting techniques, right? So we can go for the like there are many ways. Managerial judgment, quick quantitative forecast based on the direct experiences of the functional manager. As a branch manager, you quoted आपका कि we need 3 more people. Similarly, other branch manager also provided their data कि we need 3 people, 1 at PO level and 2 at clerical level, so that we can आपका grow the business. It is आपका work study techniques also. Quantitative, measure routine productivity norms, like आपका how many hours, how many customer base we are having. One person will be having this much of efficiency, so one person can handle आपका, let's say daily average inflow is 100 people in branch, one person can handle 10, so we need आपका 10%. That kind of calculation here. Ratio analysis, analyzing the historical ratio of mathematically to predict the future manpower need against the organizational priorities also. And Delphi technique आपका it is qualitative consequences building. A panel of expert provide estimate and mediate and compiled by the HR आपका professionals. The Indian banking context, HRP is typically an annual exercise by the House of HR. Without scientific norms, bank rely heavily on work study methods आपका. This is the one. Forecasting increasingly apply to the measurable areas like आपका this. ठीक है? So they generally comes under this particular one. Okay, guys. So that is something what generally comes under this. Vinay sir, I'm in the class. Huh? Can you please call me tomorrow? I'll be in session till 11 o'clock. Huh? Thank you, sir. Then, guys, everyone. Then we have आपका recruitment versus selection. The second phase आप this everybody knows. Recruitment where आपका like let's say we have a deficit. We after HRP, let's say HRP, your demand is 150 people and supply is 100 people. So we have to go. We have a deficit of 50 people. Means we have to go for a recruitment of 50 new people. The recruitment, we need 50 people of this आपका skill set and others, right? So identify and encouraging prospective employees to apply. So like we need 50 people आपका those who have graduated and they are having experience of 2 years in any domain or some आपका expertise, age criteria and everything. So based on this, people will start applying or applicant will start applying for this one. So it's a positive approach. It will for 330 people. Suppose that we got 3 lakh application, right? So we got 3 lakh application and it will आपका eliminate those who are not fit as per the job itself. Okay, like let's say we are recruiting 21 to 30 years. So this age group graduate 2 year experience, so it will filter out. And after this all the filter, you will be receiving the application. Seek to attract as many candidates as possible to build a robust talent. Now the another part is selection. This is a negative आपका area. Now we will do the filtering. We will आपका phase 1 आपका test, psychoanalytic test और आपका interview and others. Then we'll finally select the 30 people, right? Out of 3 lakh, we आपका churn out and we select finally top 30 people, those who are आपका people fit, job fit for the organization. Picking the right candidate from the applicant pool, it is a negative approach because it is something which is related to elimination. Seek to eliminate unqualified applicants systematically to isolate the ideal fitteds, right? So in now the recruitment can be internal or it can be external. Internal is basically we are internally promoting people आपका, right? Let's say we need a branch manager. What we did, we internally promoted a person. External is we are hired from the outside. So cost effective candidate are already culturally oriented. They know the organization very well. Organization hold very आपका verified knowledge of the performance. Organization also know their performances. When it comes to the negative things about this, play safe or traditional approach, a bit internal आपका rating disrupt the candidate's current departmental work. This is something like sometimes you are not having any sort of diversity with this kind of approach. Reason being that person become used to of the system, right? If you hire from outside organization, they'll come up with some a new set of experiences or something आपका different. But this is something we are working with the organization now. This is a new thing which we have to do and we know the pros and cons of organization. External, it inflicts the new skill, talent and experiences. Easier compliance with the reservation policies, amid आपका internal resentment and आपका heartburn. It is costly, denies morale boost आपका associated with the internal promotion. High risk of costly wrong recruitment. अब you do not know exactly what the how the person it is, so that can create some sort of problem, right? Recruitment. The another process we have selection. So when it comes to the selection, so it is there are 5 steps essential. First, advanced specification, the job detail आपका basically the role or the our qualities and others. So detailed job description and specification must be prepared beforehand and uh, endorsed by both HR and line management. Okay? Because line management eventually they only have to work with them. Then we have objective standard, establish comprehensive predefined standards. Then आपका behavioral interviewing, So behavioral interview, you remember BEI, right? So behavioral interview means what they have done in past and how, like if they have to perform similar thing in our organization, so how they'll be doing those particular things. So with behavioral interview, we check all those particular areas. Line manager integration. So line manager is like basically the reportee person, right? So ensure line manager are actively involved in all possible stages. Then we have aapka post hire training things, which generally comes under this particular process itself. Got it, guys? So that is something internal, external, which we have discussed as of now. Team differences between recruitment and selection. That is the another part of ka, right? E-recruitments and others, what we have discussed so far, right? Now, the next one, HRIS and HRMS. You remember this one, team? Both are nowadays both are same. They are mostly known as HRMS. Our human resource information system, which generally maintain all the database about the human resource. HRMS is along with it is a kind of HRIS is integrated under the HRMS. It helps us to make the आपका analysis or आपका decision making also, right? So they are handling the payroll, benefit and welfare, employee records, recruitment आपका attendance, training and development, and performance management. All these things which generally get integrated into this particular one. So how it works? So HRIS implementation. So we have operational efficiency, automate recurring tasks like the attendance bench or everything up, correct? Mobile accessibility, enable speedy onboarding, reduce paper, material, and physical storage. We have precision and accuracy. It has drastically reduced the error in payroll and database information, improve time and attendance tracking, employee engagement, empower staff with self-service benefit update, streamline open enrollments, integrate आपका seamlessly with LMS and strategic compliance also. Automatically distribute update policies, आपका issue the complaints. Now, like every bank is having their own system, right? So as we are like, let's say if we are working with PNB, so HRMS PNB, or like every bank, they have their own areas or own आपका what it is called own system, okay? So which is helping us to manage the different areas, right? So the core benefit, which is generally part of this particular one. Now the next one, compensation framework in Indian bank. This is something which is this very basic one, right? So core compensation principle, compensation direct, mandatory, indirect perk, aim to motivate employees and match industry grading आपका equal pay to equal work. Public sector bank, they operate in socialistic pattern governed by the industry level bilateral agreements despite of competitive environment, right? So our things get decided by on the base pay or the aging system, as well as the increment are linked by the bipartite settlement with IBA. Workmen compensation and officer staff. When it comes to workmen compensation, governed by the Desai Award and Sastry Award, as continuously modified by the BPS in 5 year cycle, right? When it comes to staff आपका, right? Again, service regulatory, we have officer service regulation amended required through the government and IBA, and again led by that आपका BPS settlement itself, right? The current one is 12 BPS, 13 BPS things will get started after some time. This is the overall structure, how if you'll see your salary structure and all, that will generally part of this particular one itself, right? Then guys, so this is something आपका. Now when it comes to the revision portion also, so the areas which are generally part of this, now let's start practicing. Okay, just allow me आपका 5 minute, just allow me 5 minutes. So we will continue this particular discussion just after the 5 minute आपका 5 minute break. Actually, it's 9 o'clock. I have to take meditation and all. So just allow me 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we will start the practice first. Then after practice, we will be having only 1 unit. Okay, guys. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. So, guys, shall we start with the practice? Everyone, just a minute. I have to stop one session. Okay. We just go through the question. So, with reference to modern human resource management practices and strategic HRM, you have to find out the correct statement, right? So, strategic HRM focus only on administrative function, completely wrong. Modern HR department increasingly use HR analytic and digital HR platform for workforce planning and decision making. Employee retention strategies are considered part of the core people role in HR management. True here. The next one is organizational development in creating a learning culture are generally classified under value added HR function. Business transformation role of HR may include mapping organizational change and aligning HR initiative with corporate. To 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5 means option C will be right answer for this particular one. Why you guys are not answering? Option C will be right answer for this particular one. Strategic HR, this statement itself we have gone through many times. Next one. Which of the following statement in relation to human resource planning are correct? Day one, everyone will be motivated. Day two, motivation level will come down. Day three, it will come down. Okay, last day after, there will be few things. And last day, day before examination, then everybody will come back and say, do some jadoo to na, and so that they can score आपका maximum. How it is possible, guys? So this exam is like now, आपका like you have to it will test your patience, right? And this time it was a great opportunity to pass all the paper because all the paper was at the moderate level. This is something what we can say it is at moderate level, right, guys? Chalo, let's go through the areas and find out the right statement about HRP. Demand forecasting in HRP may require redesigning existing job to align with the future organizational strategies and technological changes. Delphi techniques in manpower forecasting rely entirely on qualitative. It is not only qualitative, it is quantitative, it is qualitative also, right? This should be wrong. The next one is supply forecasting include assessment of internal talent availability, absenteeism trend, attrition, and employee movements within the organization. HRP focus only on estimating the number of employees, not assigning their future competencies. Wrong here. In modern service industries such as banking and BPO operation, productivity linked manpower estimation may be based on measurable operation output in this. 135. 135 means option A only will be right answer for this particular one. So Delphi techniques is primarily based on expert judgment and qualitative assessment. Right? HRP focus on both quality and quantity of manpower. That is the another one. Next one. Which of the following statement relating to recruitment and selection are selection practices are correct? Recruitment and selection. So employer branding has become strategic HR tool to attract and retain high quality talent. Yes, like organization like Tata or SpaceX or Apple or others, they have employer branding, right? They attract आपका talent, Google and all. Selection and recruitment are identical process because both focus solely on wrong है. The next one is positive, another one is negative. Okay, this is आपका positive, this is negative, and dimension are also different. Background verification has gained greater importance in selectors handling sensitive financial and control customer data. Internal recruitment generally improve employee morale, but excessive dependence on it may restrict आपका fresh perspective in the organization. True है. External recruitment completely eliminate the possibility of workplace politics, not necessarily. So 134 means option C will be right answer for this particular one. Correct, guys? Yes. So आपका recruitment focus on attracting candidate while selection is involving identifying the most suitable candidate from the applicants. External recruitment may reduce certain internal conflict but cannot completely eliminate the areas conflict and all. Right. Next one. Which of the following statement relating to recruitment and selection practices are correct? Recruitment is generally considered a positive to attract large pool of this. True है. Second one is structural interview are usually preferred over unstructured interviews for improving consistency and reduce the interviewer bias also. In public sector bank, interview continue to remain mandatory for clerical cadre. This is wrong. Psychometric and aptitude tests are generally based to assess the suitability of job-related competence and behavioral trait. 100% true. Background verification become increasingly important due to concern relating to cybersecurity fraud. That's true. 1245. 1245 means option A will be right answer for this particular one. Okay. So almost from all the clerical position, we have आपका reduce the interview things and all, right? Saroj Kumar sir, very good. Chal, other people also, guys, quickly, quickly, quickly. So e-recruitment and modern recruitment practices are the correct one. AI-based recruitment tool used by employer are increasingly subject to regulatory scrutiny relating to algorithm discrimination in APA transparency. E-recruitment completely eliminate the possibility of unconscious bias. Wrong. Application tracking system are common use filter for keyword based आपका AI assisted screening. True है. The next one is social media platforms such as LinkedIn are now widely integrated into corporate recruitment strategies for both active and passive candidate sourcing. The next one is data protection law in several jurisdictions require organization to safeguard candidate data collected through the digital recruitment platform. Yes. 1345. 1345 means option C will be right answer for this particular. Very good, guys. Easy one, I guess, right? Next one. executive hiring. Okay. So modern digital recruitment practices, and you have to find out the correct. So AI assisted hiring tool are increasingly required in some jurisdictions to undergo bias audit or transparency reviews. Same statement आपका we have discussed earlier. Social media recruitment platform can help organization to conduct targeted search based professional skills education in आपका location filter. The next one, digital onboarding system may reduce dependence on the physical paperwork through e-signature in this, true here. Video interview technologies are used only for recording interview. Support analytics, it support analytic in this also, right? Wrong here. uh, Predictive analytic in recruitment may help identifying candidate who are more likely to respond positive to job opportunities. So 1 2 3 5, 1 2 3 5 means option B will be right answer for this particular one. Very good, guys. So modern video interviewing, आपका this is not, they include आपका analytic reporting and AI supported assessment also, right? Next one, HRIS and HRMS, and you have to find out the correct one. So under contemporary HR governance practices, payroll outsourcing completely eliminate the employer compliance responsibility. No, they are providing you platform, but compliance responsibility lies to bank itself. Employee self-service portal in HRMS can reduce administrative workload by allowing employee to update personal and benefit related information. Yes, like leave encashment or anything else. Right. Modern HRMS platform increasingly integrate with AI-driven analytic tool for predictive workforce planning and iteration analysis. Cloud-based HRMS solution may create आपका cyber security and data privacy concern, particularly where sensitive information in this. This is also correct. Integration of HRMS and learning management system can support आपका competency tracking and personalized. This is also true. 2 3 4 5. 2 3 4 5 means again option B will be right answer for this particular one, right? Only even when payroll is outsourced, employer generally retain आपका ultimate responsibility for statutory and compliance obligation also, right? So that is something which generally comes under this particular one. Next one, guys. So employee risk is generally considered a component of operational risk under banking risk management framework. risk management, BFM, right? I hope you remember. Mandatory job rotation and compulsory leave policies are often used by bank as preventive control against the internal fraud. Yes, because like we are giving these particular thing so that other one will access that system, and if something is going wrong, we can escalate those areas. The next one is RBI risk based supervision, RBIA framework completely prohibit bank from outsourcing employee. No, there is no complete prohibition आपका, so this is wrong. The next one is आपका negligent hiring claim may arise when an employer failed to exercise reasonable care during the recruitment. Behavioral red flags such as unusual system access pattern and frequent override of control are increasingly monitored through the AI based आपका surveillance. Yes, 1245. 1245 means option B. B should be right answer for this one. Yes, good. So option B will be right answer. The bank may outsource आपका background verification to specialized agencies, but accountability remain with the bank itself, right? It is there is as such no prohibition. Next question. Okay. Next unit we have performance management. So performance management, this is again like I hope you remember all these ones. See, this is the benefit of आपका studying that particular unit very well. So we have performance management system. You remember that statement key appraisal is not an option, but the methods of appraising people which generally left with bank employer itself, right? So performance appraisal system, then we have 360-degree appraisal, so only one is there, so very important. Competency mapping, competency versus competence. KRAs, key result areas, KPIs, आपका standards, performance management best practices. These are the areas which is generally part of this particular unit itself, right? So when it comes to the performance management, the first one is the foundation, plan, do, review, and revise. Basically, plan, do, review, and revise. This is the cycle आपका, which we generally use. It is called basically continuous improvements, right? Then we have आपका defining the success through the KPI and KRAs. Every person assigns some job. They are like they must be aware of these particular activities. You will be responsible for these areas, and based on the outcome only we will be go for appraisal. ठीक है? और appraisal will decide आपका increment, promotion और आपका training and all. Measurement tool आपका, तो it can be past and future oriented, and we have like tool like the modern tool आपका like 360 degree, 720 or many more आपका, right, which is generally part of this particular one, right? So let's start with this particular one. When it comes to your the engine of continuous improvement, first plan, understand the current performance, prioritize tasks, identify action to be taken, and plan for the improvement itself. The first one, right? The second one which we have here, this is your ensure proper system are in place, manage risk, take action, and support people to achieve better performance. Third, आपका review, understand impact and assess the changing circumstances and speak to user stakeholder about the experiences, and basically the based on the feedback revise things. Use lesson learn from the review to change plan, ensure future action are more efficient and appropriate, right? So this is something key performance management आपका cycle that is called, right? So the performance management is a process of gradual include of goal setting, planning, monitoring, and developing, reviewing, analyzing, and rewarding. This is something key. This was your responsibility and how you have performed against these particular one. Based on this, we are generally rewarding people, we are promoting people. So it's a kind of a they are having clarity around the job. So these are the four stages. It is generally known as a better understanding of performance management system, can be obtained through the performance management cycle. It performance management measurement and आपका information approach. Performance management is based on plan, do, review and revise. Plan, do, review and revise. Okay, these are the areas which are generally part of this particular one, right? So when it comes to your actions, daily action into the result areas, KRAs. So it is basically talk to individual team members and gather the information, identify आपका isolate day-to-day activities to drive the initial KRAs. Then we have documents. Sorry, I'll zoom it out. Huh? Then we have document, finalize the KRA and allocate the strict timelines. Then we have communicate, set expectation clearly with the team members for what things you are responsible. Then review, critically evaluate the performance against the KRAs and आपका observe, measure, discuss and appraise. ठीक है, that is the ultimate one. So this is something KRA is equal to your standard. We are setting some sort of standards, like every employer having some sort of expectations from the employees. These expectations are basically in a like they are generally compiled as KRA, okay? Key responsibility areas, or which is also known as KPIs, key performance indicator, because like at the time of or at the end of the review period, we will be assessing the performance of that particular person based on these particular. So how we are doing, how we are designing this particular one in this particular manner itself, right? So this is from your book only. So how we are going? So points associated with performance management, development of individual goal. You can use MBO or other things. Okay. In the context of performance management process, the role and responsibility of KRAs have been very important. KRA are the set of activities derive out of short-term objective. KRA refer to a general area of outcome or output for which department's role is responsible based on KRA's set of this particular. Okay. So then after this, we alignment of goal across the organization. So the sum total of the individual goal must add up in the achievement and attainment of organizational goal. Then आपका manager assessment of performance. Typically, appraisal is done by the immediate manager based on the assessment by the appraisee. Then we have employee self-assessment also nowadays. We आपका follow the 360-degree assessment from all the stakeholders. Then we have competency assessment आपका, ठीक है, often called आपका potential, coaching and development. ठीक है, in case of deficiency, we are generally referring these one. Each of these process is complex and performed different ways by the different organization. While there are hundred of books around this particular one, and this is something how we deal with this, right? So KRAs are the kind of fundamentals. We are setting some sort of your what it is called standard for a person. What will be your responsibility within the organization, or for what things you will be responsible. So quantifying the success with SMART indicator. So when it comes to SMART, it is your specific, आपका measurable, achievable, relevant and time bound. It is mentioned here also. Specific, आपका measurable, attainable, realistic और आपका time bound, right? So when it comes to SMART approach, mostly we use this particular one for planning or for deciding the goal, right? So your goal should be driven by SMART approach. We used to, even during the planning or in ABFM module A, only we have discussed this one, right? Now in KRA deciding also, you can use this particular one. So the areas, KPI measure, KRA, achievement through the objective, standardized metric that must be the आपका followed by the SMART approach, which include आपका quantity, unit आपका process, like the numbers, ठीक है, for which you are responsible, contract per day or week, resource increase or beneficiary coverage, quality, error आपका rate, staff turnover, compliance versus compliments and आपका innovative ideas introduced by the person. Then cost variance against the budget, like how much we have allocated and within what budget they have completed. Fund utilization, amount spent versus आपका the benefit provided this. Time आपका speed of delivery, deadline met, average call response over time itself. So that is something which generally comes under this particular one, right? So up now the next portion is very important one. So when it comes to appraisal methods, so far what we have discussed, the KRA things, right? It is basically performance management which is built up on these plan, do, review, revise. Then we set the standard for people, they generally known as KRAs, and we expect people ki they will be acting within this particular one. We will be judging on these particular ground. Now the next one is your appraisal methodologies. ठीक है, while we are appraising people आपका, so we use different methodologies आपका, right? So what all these particular आपका methodologies are. Now let's talk about these particular one. So first we have past oriented. You remember these particular one. All these you have gone through, huh? In ABM. We will be revisiting all these one. But this is something all the one. Okay, all these methods which we have gone through during that period. So evaluate what the already happened. Focus on trait, specific incident, and this. So it is something ki when it comes to the traditional methods आपका, they were around the आपका पर्सन ओरिएंटेड, ठीक है, द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ दैट पर्सन, हाउ दैट पर्सन इज. बट टुडे इज आपका व्हाट दैट पर्सन हैव डन, ठीक है, दैट इज समथिंग विच वी आर इवेल्युएटिंग, राइट? सो हियर वी हैव रेटिंग स्केल, we have आपका trait analysis, force choice to the manager, they have to, we provide some questionnaire and they have to answer those one. Force distribution, आपका critical incidents, like how they have acted in those particular situation. Confidential report and pen portrait, basically one person is making judgment, or mostly it is आपका subjective in nature. All these are kind of subjective in nature. When it comes to modern approach आपका, they are objective, they are having more objectivity, right? So evaluate what is next, focus on potential, mutual goal setting and behavioral anchors. So MBO, management by objective, it is all about the setting goal, right? So where manager, they generally sit with the subordinate and they jointly decide the goal, what you are going to do with an organization, and then manager keeps supervising that person, and wherever it is required help or feedback they provide. Assessment centers आपका, especially for succession planning and retention, we use this, or even for the to identify the need of training in this, where we conduct the multiple test, that NDA वाला, जैसे NDA का होता है ना, the assessment same is here also. We have आपका behavioral anchored rating scale also, PARS आपका, that is something which generally comes under this. Okay, चल, now let's go through this particular one by one. So first your old one आपका force choice, all you guys have gone through, just go through once and twice, you will be able to recall. Force choice method, तो it is आपका rater evaluation, true, HR evaluation positive outcome, and false आपका HR evaluation negative alternative outcome itself. So mechanics आपका rater is focus on indicate which statement from a block is true or false. HR does not does the actual evaluation. So basically rater is doing, okay, this is आपका right, in this point this is wrong, right, whatever it is, ठीक है. Pros and cons, eliminate personal bias, but statement can be poorly framed by the team itself. Then we have force distribution methods आपका. In this particular one, we have low, below, average, high, and other range आपका, right? So mechanics आपका, employee are clustered around high point. A rater is compelled to distribute employee across all scale. So pros आपका, forced आपका definitions, but heavily relies on the unrealistic assumption that team performance conform to a normal distribution, kind of collegial आपका, कि like mostly it is the judgment we are making on the team basis. Okay, this team did well means we are appraising all peoples equally. This team did wrong or like kind of underperforming. We are judging all people accordingly. Then we have behavioral tracking or critical incidents. So based on those important incidents, okay, positive or negative, how that person reacted accordingly. So supervisor records specific critical behavior as they occur, capturing what make the difference between effective and ineffective performance. So advantages based on actual job behavior. It is आपका like in positive incident how that person act, contribution of the person, and negative what was the आपका like kind of that person's reaction to that situation. Disadvantages require overly close supervision. Negative incidents are easily prioritized with positive ones are often forgotten. Okay, this has happened, right? You did 1000 good things, you did one wrong things, people will remember that one wrong and forget about those 1000 areas. So that is something again a bit challenging. Management by objective. Peter Drucker was the person behind this. This is something which is very, very important one. Huh? I hope you get the question around this in your ABM or ABFM. If not, for sure here you will get the question. So what we generally do under this one, manager and subordinate, they jointly decide the goal. So establish goal in a joint conference, set performance standard. Then आपका manager assess frequently by review meetings, identify shortfall and provide the feedback, and आपका establish new strategy for the coming years. ठीक है? If there was any question, then आपका still there are chances, but if there was no question, highly chances, right? So core benefit आपका increase employee motivation because they get involved in the decision making. Then we have reduced role and आपका role conflict and आपका ambiguity because everyone know what they have to do. Aid in planning आपका force manager to develop leadership skills like counseling and this, that is the part of this particular one, right? Next one we have bars. This also was part of your ABM. Anchoring आपका behavior to matrix. तो how we generally generate critical incidents. Again, what we are doing, keep to for a job, this is the positive side, this is a negative side, right? In a job, like let's say as a branch manager, this is positive side. आपका these are the positive, these are the negative. So first we create these particular, generate critical incidents. Then आपका develop dimension, divide 5 10 clearly define आपका clusters. Then आपका relocate incident, team retain those agreed with by 50-60% best fit. Scale आपका incidents, rare behavior of effectiveness per dimension. Develop final instrument, select 6-7 incidents per cluster, and आपका the finally decide कि it is positive or negative, and based on that particular one we are making the judgment itself. Next one we have assessment center. Here what we are doing, a group of employees or the team itself, we are generally assessing them with the APA test or psychometric test, group discussion, or all these particular how they are reacting in. We are giving them different situation or some sort of simulation, how they are interacting or behaving in that environment. Based on that, we are generally आपका making the decision. So experience managers, situational experiences in basket exercise management, game, group discussion, and all. More than आपका capable or acceptable, less acceptable and unacceptable, right? So this is something what we are doing in this particular one. So that is called assessment center, right? Next one, 360-degree feedback. So here employee who is giving self feedback. Then आपका top management also, immediate superior, peer आपका the colleagues, subordinate आपका customer, self. So everyone is giving feedback आपका, right? That is something which generally comes under this particular one. So origin आपका developed by the General Electronics, used by many organization. The double of this one is 720, but it is not given in your curriculum. But in ABM it was there, right? 720 is first we do 360 this, then we provide the feedback, then another time duration आपका, then again we run the 360, and based on how that person have taken the feedback and others, we generally act around those particular one. Okay, so 360-degree आपका, this is again a very important one. Nowadays many organizations use this. A broader, highly reliable perspective drive profound self development, uniquely capture the interpersonal customer satisfaction and team building capacity. Risk is can feel intimidating or threatening to the employees. Heavily reliance on undertrained raters, our potential for loss objective, unbalanced feedback is not carefully moderated in others. So that is something which generally comes under this particular. So all these particular areas, okay? So the different methods आपका rating scales and the areas which are generally part of your curriculum, I have kept in the notes also. And though this is, I guess, third or fourth time we are discussing all these particular things, huh? So 360-degree, that was the last one आपका which we have discussed here, right? So KRA also, the steps involved in KRA and others, which we have discussed from this particular one, right? So summary is also there. Now time for the practice sets up. The first question on your screen, guys. Quickly, guys. Come on, everyone. So, which of the following statement relating to modern performance management system are correct? So, what will be your correct answer for this? So, continuous performance evaluation has increasingly replaced purely annual appraisal system in many organizations. This is आपका true, right? So nowadays, continuous performance evaluation we are doing monthly, quarterly basis. So we are not waiting for the year end, right? KRAs are generally framed independently by employees without linkage to organizational objective. No, KRAs are directly आपका linked to the organizational goal. So the contribution of that one person in the bigger goal, that is your KRA, right? Okay, sorry. I guess there is some. Just allow me 1 minute. I'll rejoin from my side. Screen. Right. Next one, आपका answer, guys. A 360-degree appraisal system may include feedback from peer, subordinate, superiors, sometimes from the customer also. Yes. Next one. Performance management focus on past employee performance and is unrelated to future development. No, it is not only past, it is past and present and future all. Competency assessment in PMS is often used to identify leadership potential and training requirement. Yes, 135 means option A will be right answer for this. Very good, Rani ma'am. Good, sir. Yes, option A will be right answer. KRA are aligned with departmental and organizational goal. The next one, performance management is both retrospective and forward looking also, right? Next one, answer this, guys, everyone. So tomorrow we will be targeting module C. Every day we will be targeting one module. Friday we will be doing aapka one another set of practice with different set of question. Saturday, if required, I'll give you a content gist aapka so that you can recall, because it is something which is theoretical in nature. One session for 2 hours, we can revise all the important models or the theories and all, and then Sunday aapka all the rest, huh? Okay, guys, chalo next one. What will be your correct answer? Which of the following statement regarding modern performance appraisal system and talent management practice are correct? The continuous frame performance feedback system are increasingly replacing annual appraisal. This is, I guess, we have discussed just now. Same question क्या? Performance appraisal focus on measurable business outcome, ignore behavioral competence. No, this is different. A design appraisal system may support decision relating to compensation, succession planning, and आपका employee developments. The next one is biases such as halo effect and recent effect affect the fairness of employees. Yes, that you did many thing good in the year, but by the end March आपका you did some mistake. Everyone will remember the mistake, right? So modern integrated talent management system generally attract to HR align HR practices with organizational strategy. This is true. 1345 1345 1345 means option B. Yes, very good guys. So option B will be right answer for this particular one. Next one. So the performance appraisal methods आपका. So in force distribution method, employee performance is generally assumed to follow a normal distribution pattern. Behaviorally anchored rating scale bars combine quantitative rating with the specific behavioral example linked to the performance dimension. Under the critical incident methods, supervisor record only negative. No, both आपका negative and positive. It is similar to bars only. Assessment center commonly use role play, leadership group discussion in basket exercise. MBO primarily emphasis आपका secrecy and confidential evaluation. No, it is not about that. We are jointly deciding the goal. So 124 124 means option D will be right answer for this particular one. Correct guys? Easy one I guess. MBO is participative in nature, involve joint goal setting, periodic review between manager and आपका employee. This is highly transparent process, what we can say. Correct? Next one. Modern performance appraisal system and HR practices in organization. I have uploaded all the five module आपका concept. So if you get extra time, you can go for that. Otherwise, like daily module wise target you can take. Evening आपका concept plus practice. Morning, next day morning you can practice with the mock test. ठीक है? Module wise mock test you can आपका practice. Then in module mock test you'll get a complete different set of question. Here you'll be getting a different set of question. Then आपका evening again we will revolve the cycle. Whenever you get time in daytime, so you can like practice with the, you can scroll down that PDF and all, right? So that will also help you because this is completely static. So performance appraisal system are used not only for administrative decision but also organizational maintenance and strategic HR planning. A transparent feedback and review mechanism in appraisal system help reduce employee apprehension and reduce the bias evaluation. Techniques like bars or 360-degree appraisal assessment center are generally more suitable for middle and senior management. No, okay, they are not आपका role to routine, more suitable for the middle and senior management role than routine आपका clerical position. It can be because it is, they are linked with the goal setting and all, right? This should be correct, but we'll recheck this one. Annual confidential report ACR is in many traditional organizations are commonly used as one of the input for this one. This is a traditional approach basically. Performance appraisal system primarily focus on salary revision, It is not limited to salary. It is also regarding the promotion or appraisals or even the training requirements in others, right? So one, two, three, four. I'll go with option A. What do you guys suggest? Yes, option A. And the statement was statement three. Advanced appraisal techniques are generally more relevant for the managerial and leadership position involving broader responsibilities than others. Okay, next one. So, which of the following statement regarding modern performance appraisal system are correct? So, in 360-degree appraisal system, feedback from external stakeholders such as customer, supplier also may be considered. Yes, it is. On one major limitation of multi-source appraisal system is the possibility of bias or inconsistency among the untrained आपका evaluated. Yes. Force ranking in 360 appraisal are identical. No, both are different. Right. In force, basically we are not giving choice to the manager. We are giving the questionnaire. They have to answer yes or no. And here, आपका they are giving their feedback. आपका right. So modern appraisal system are increasingly used not only for performance but also for leadership development. Confidentiality concern and fear of retaliation may reduce the effectiveness of upward feedback organization with आपका weak trust. Yes, if you have to submit some sort of information about your manager, ठीक है, though they'll say कि this report will remain confident, right? But what happened when you fill your emotion, it will, your manager will get to know what you have written about that person. 1245, 1245 means option C will be right answer for this. C will be right. How come D? What is D? uh, Third one is wrong. C is the correct answer for this one, guys. You guys have mentioned for this one. Force ranking, compare employee against each others, where 360-degree आपका appraisal use multi source feedback and all. What was option D आपका? 1 3 2 is correct here. Major limitation of multi score appraisal system is आपका bias or inconsistency of the untrained evaluator. This point was specifically mentioned in that particular slide itself, right? Somewhere we have gone through. Today only we have gone through. Please be careful around these things, guys, right? I'm not getting that one right now. Next one. So, statement regarding competency mapping and core competence are correct. Core competence are generally difficult for competitors to made because they are often embedded in organization process and आपका collective learning. Competency mapping focus only on technical qualification. Ignore the no it. This is wrong. Functional competence differ from the generic competence. It is like specific to the job. A firm possessing valuable resources automatically achieve the core competence. There is nothing called automatic, right? They have to develop. Competency-based interview are widely used to improve the hiring accuracy and reduce the probability of cost recruitment errors, right? So post recruitment errors. 135. 135 means option A will be right. A will be right answer for this. Correct, Rani ma'am? So competency mapping include behavioral, managerial, interpersonal, and आपका technical dimension. When it comes to resources alone are insufficient, organization must possess capabilities to deploy them effectively. Next one. So which of the following statement regarding the competency mapping and assessment center are correct? The competency mapping supports succession planning by identifying employees suitable for the future leadership and specialized role. Assessment center generally rely on single interviewer opinion. No, multiple आपका interviewer are there and multiple tasks are also there, right? This is wrong. Competency based training focus on defining measurable proficiency outcome expected from the trainee, completing the training after. Simulation exercise such as role play and in basket exercise commonly used in assessment center. Competency framework are assist organization in designing recruitment compensation in this. Yes. 1345. 1345 means option B will be right answer for. Why you guys are not answering? Come on, guys. Tired or what? इतने जल्दी थके हैं? Maybe workload is there, right? Huh? And this week is itself आपका heavy. Last week you guys have gone through two papers. Now this is the one. This is last week. Just have your patience for next 4-5 days. Believe me, it is worth it, right? So, with reference to modern performance management practices, KRA and KPIs, which of the following statement are correct? KRA and KPIs. So, KPI may be both quantitative and qualitative depending on the nature of the role and expected outcome. An excessive focus on activity based indicator alone may sometimes ignore the broader organizational outcome and employee behavior dimension. This is true. Next one, in balanced performance framework, interpersonal and client perspective are considered alongside organization, organizational and task perspective. This is also true. KRA are ideally designed to capture routine daily activities rather than the broader result. They are result oriented responsibilities. It should be wrong. Smart based KPI require indicators. Your goal should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Right? This is true. So 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5 means option C will be right answer for this particular one. Why B? Option C, guys. What was B? 1, 3, 4. 5 is also 5 smart approach. Just me, we have gone through this one. Smart approach is basically you go up when you are defining the KPI. It is something related to planning phase, specific, measurable, achievable, आपका relevant and time bound. This is the full form of your smart only, right? So that is something which is generally comes under this one. Okay, guys. Next one. C only, no? Yes. KRAs are result-oriented responsibility areas and all. Next one. Which of the following statement regarding the modern performance management practices are correct? So continuous performance management emphasis periodic feedback and ongoing goal alignment rather than relying on solely on annual reviews. The second one is आपका public recognition of employee achievements can strengthen the performance oriented organizational culture when implemented appropriately, right? Multiple source feedback system may reduce individual evaluator bias by incorporating input from the different stakeholders, correct है? Like 360-degree. Effective performance management assume that performance problem always originated from the employee. It is not necessarily from employee, it can be from the any external or employer also, right? Coaching आपका conversation in modern organization are generally considered more effective when conducted frequently and linked to the external test. So 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5 means option B will be right answer for this particular one. Correct? Yeah? Performance issues may arise from the unclear process, poor leadership, inadequate. Mostly they come from the leadership, right? Or inadequate resources. Also, this is the one. Organizational barriers and others, right? Not only from the employee itself, right? Next one. Okay, this is it. So now this is your module C. So when it comes to module C, we have 4 units which are part of this learning process, motivation. All the 4 units are bit lengthy actually. It will take similar time, right? So we have employee development, training methodologies and all, right? So it is motivation, training, skill development. These are the areas which are generally part of this. So in next session means tomorrow at 7 p.m. we will be discussing आपका all these 4 unit detailed concept, each and every subtopic, as well as your आपका a detailed set of practice also. All right, guys. So this is it. I hope you guys following these things आपका regularly. If you are getting any problem, any sort of आपका confusion, just feel free to reach me out. I'll try my best to help you out in that particular case, right? So keep yourself motivated, right? There is no one else will come to motivate you, because this is something last week. Anyhow, you have to put your best effort, right? So, Nagamali sir is saying, like, Nagamali sir, module D and E, right? So all the five modules are equally important. D and E is something which is bit complex, right? And which is something because A, B, C, this is something which you have read in past also. But especially that E wala things, na, you will see something new in that particular case. So I'll suggest all the 4 module, and equally we will be going through all the areas and all, and we'll be discussing things. Okay. Basically, when it comes to D and E, things are like they have laws, static and other kind of things. So you have to memorize all those particular ones, right? So that will create some sort of differences. Done, everyone? Chalo. Now I'll see you tomorrow at I'll upload this PDF just after 5 minutes. You can use as a reference. Then you can give a mock test in the morning itself with fresh mind also. So I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. and we'll continue this discussion. And if you're any of your friend are preparing for भी आपका रूरल बैंकिंग एंड योर आपका सेंट्रल बैंकिंग ऑल्सो, तो सेंट्रल बैंकिंग वी आर डूइंग सेशन इन द मॉर्निंग, दिशा मैम, एंड इवनिंग आपका देवश्री मैम डूइंग सेशन एट 6:30 फॉर द रूरल बैंकिंग. IT and risk management, we have mock test. Risk management in past I have done some session, but this time I won't be able to get that much time. Still, if you are getting some sort of concern, like IT, I can share the mock test after, right? Mock tests are already there for unit wise and the other one. And if anyone of your friends are facing some issues, so tell them. So I'll try to help them out also. All right, guys. So this is it from my side. Thank you for joining this session. Hope you enjoy the session. See you tomorrow at same time, 7 p.m. and we'll continue our discussion. So this is it. Bye bye.